For this assignment, we are going to cover skills such as cut copy, fill handle, multiplication of cells, adding and deleting cells and columns, freeze panes, split worksheets, and print layouts. First thing we're going to do is cut copy. For this, we're going to start by selecting cell A3, drag through D3 and down through D7. Here we're going to, up in the top left hand here, press copy, click in A8 and click paste. Okay, we're going to do this one more time in A13. Click paste. Now we should have 3 separate charts. Next thing we're going to do is start by changing the text within those charts. We're going to have electricity, water, and natural gas. So the first one is natural gas. So fill in the worksheet as you see. After you've typed those in, we're now going to use our input, our cost per units. For electricity, it will be 0.97. After you fill this in, put your cursor in the bottom right-hand corner till it's a black X. Click and drag down for a fill. So that'll be the same for all 3 months. Water will be 1.72. Click out, back in, and then down to fill. Cost per 1,000 gallons will be 1.98. And drop fill. Okay, the following numbers just fill in as you see on your screen. All right. Now, once you have your data entered, we can figure out our monthly cost. To do this, we start by pressing our equal sign, telling our computer we're doing a math formula. In this case, we're going to multiply the 2 cells, B4 and C4. To do this, simply just click on B4, press Shift 8, and press on C4. Press Enter. You can fill this down through D5, B6. A quick way to go about doing this, we can click on this, Format, apologize. Alright, so to copy this formula down, ignore the format. Instead, press Control C. Click down into D9 for April. Press Control V. And it'll copy the formula. Fill it down. And then again, you can go Control C. Control V for paste. And then fill it down. This one here, we see an error should be 10. And you'll see it automatically adjusts. For quarterly expenses and monthly cost, we are going to use our summation formula, equal sum, and then drag through the 3 cells, Shift 0. Here we can go Control Copy, Control V, Control Paste, Control Paste. Okay, now you should have your sheet set up just as I have here. For our next step, we're going to add rows and columns, delete rows and columns. So there's a few ways you can do that. let's start by clicking on the number 3 for our row. We're going to click up here to the Insert button. This will insert an entire new row above, pulling everything down. One thing you'll notice is the formulas here, instead of saying C, B4, C4, now say B5, C5. In here, we're going to type the words units used, unit cost, and build. Okay. If you find in future worksheets, as you're entering a range of data, you missed a particular row or rows, you can always go on, click, do either the Insert button, or if you right click, you can go Insert. It'll create a whole new row. So that's something for future use. Also columns, if you put them in the wrong area or you need an extra column, again, just click on the letter, Insert, creates a whole new column. Okay, we'll delete that and go back. So that's simply how you add or delete rows or columns within an Excel spreadsheet. The next Excel skill or feature we're going to learn is freeze painting. Let's start by selecting A4, and on your View tab, we're going to click Freeze Panes. You'll see this darker line come across the screen. Now scroll up or down. So what that does is it freezes all the cells above it. So as you're scrolling, it makes it easier for you to analyze a document. So you know as you move forward here, if it goes out of view, it's still this 1,000 gallons is units used, unit cost, build. Okay, so we're going to click that to unfreeze it. The other aspect you can use, or the skill you can use with Excel, is splitting. So let's click in A15, and in that same area, click the word split. So this creates two separate panes, so two separate areas I can scroll through. And this is something you can use to, again, compare data instead of going side by side or having to print out papers. If you have a longer spreadsheet, this would be useful. To get rid of that, we just simply split line, double click, and that'll go away. The next thing we're going to do is our page layout. Before we do our page layout, you'll notice April here is spelled wrong. If you have a large document especially, it's very tedious to go through the whole thing. So just like Microsoft Word, Excel offers a spell check. So on your Review tab, if you go to Spelling and click, it says Utilities, and then it offers suggestions. Okay, so we'll go ignore once. Go through your words that they have, make sure they're spelt correctly. So APRL, change once, okay, we'll change it. CF, okay, ignore. April, let's change all. Alert. Okay, so the electricity there I skipped through, but that should change. So this is on the utilities. That is your spell check, which I obviously didn't look at too close. Okay, page layout. This is you're going to be using moving forward. Here, just like Word, we have margins, orientation, size, print area, very similar to Word. And you're going to use it similar to the way you use Word. So let's go to the Page Layout tab and click on our margins. And we're going to click on Wide. So this gives us a 1-inch border across. You'll see here we have a dotted line. And this is, when you print it, this is where the page break would be. So if you had content beyond this, it'll end up being 2 pages. Let's see, A3 through D20. So one way you can do is you can select your data and you can set your print area. Okay, this will show then, this is the only content then that would print when you go to your print screen. Okay, On the Print Layout tab, under the Page Layout tab, you're also going to want to click on this Grid Lines Print. So it'll show all the little box lines when you print your page. This is something when I have you print assignments in the future, I always want to have printed. Makes it easier to gauge than the width and size of your cells to make sure you've complied with rules. The last thing we're going to do is a header. So we're going to go to Insert tab, click on Header Footer. And in our header, we have three boxes. We got our left, middle, and right margins. Under the left one, simply put your name. In the center, we're going to go with the title of the document. And the last one, we're going to use the date. Instead of typing in the date, though, let's go up to here. We have a current date. Okay, when we zoom out, we'll go back out of our header footer. You'll see there 1:30:17. So after you finish this, go ahead and save it and submit it as a finished document.